And there is something about those mountains and how big they are and where the setting of the ranch is. And it just makes you feel looking around like, wow, we have a huge, powerful God. And I am so little nothing. Like, just a speck here in this mountain that is just, what in the world? It just blows you away.
OM National Connect. What's up, ordinary men? Here today with 5 very special people. We are going to talk about the Ordinary Men's National Connect. The reason they're on the call with me is because we do life together on a regular basis, and they were all 5 at the National Connect 2 years ago. So I thought, what better group of guys to come together and just let's do a quick talk about, what is the National Connect? What do they like about it? Why should other people come? All that good stuff. To be fully honest and transparent, we tried to do a podcast before this, and it didn't go so well. I forgot to hit record like 25 minutes in, and then we couldn't get the audio to work, so we made a pivot and we went straight to this. So, guys, if I'm a little flustered, that's the reason why. So, Sean, I want you to dive in and tell me, what was your favorite part about the National Connect a couple years ago?
Well, let me tell you, Jeremy, I was excited. It's held in outside Beaver Creek somewhere. So it's in Colorado. Absolutely beautiful there. So headed there, I may have been a little more excited for the activities, the scenery, hanging out. I was super excited about that, and it didn't disappoint. But what surprised me while I was there was the actual, the meat of it was awesome. So I was more than pleasantly surprised about what God did while we were there, during the sessions, during the speaking, during the worship. It was great. But full transparency, headed out, I was more excited to go mountain biking and road cycling. Can I say that?
That's pretty exciting too, and we'll talk about that a little more. And maybe that is someone's favorite part. Let's just go around the horn. Travis, tell me what you most liked about it.
Well, I'm the newest member of the group, and I got to say I was probably the most intimidated because I didn't know what to expect or had gone through the formalities of ordinary men. I didn't go to church since probably a teenager, and so the impact on my life was profound in that, not that I had found God, but I reaffirmed my faith and really had an opportunity to open up with guys that were close to me, guys who were complete strangers, almost generational. I mean, the younger group, the older group, just the opportunity to share with everyone. And since I've gotten back from Ordinary Men over 2 years ago, I haven't, stopped going to church since. And I think, from that, it's been helpful in my life from a self-care, from a spiritual care, and then from a family care, just the values that it brings to my family, and then extend it beyond my family to my parents who also go to church now. So for me, it's been great. So I hope others can experience the same thing.
No, Travis, that was really good. I'm going to follow up and let Chris, how about you come on and let us know a little bit about your experience 2 years ago? Other than, of course, Sean giving us a nice first-class Frontier plane ride out.
Oh my gosh, I forgot that piece.
I am an elite diamond member on the low-cost airfare Frontier.
Is there such a thing as first class on Frontier?
There's chickens in the plane, but whatever. I dominate that space.
Yeah. Well, that definitely was a great start of it. Like Sean said, I mean, I spent a lot of time with you guys. We've been out there together for other reasons, just seeing Jeremy and whatnot. So I was excited for that piece, and I was excited to see Travis there. Everything Travis just said really made me feel good. Watching him, I was anxious to see you, Travis. We haven't really talked about that, but I'm like, he's coming out and putting his faith out on his chest, and that meant a lot. And, Mark had invited a buddy who I'd never met. So the people that I didn't know, I was excited to see. And then, of course, the fun. I mean, it's hard these days for guys in our scenarios to just break out for a few days to go all the way to Colorado to worship when we can worship at church. So, being together, that fun aspect of it every day just made that thing. That was a very memorable trip.
Really good, Chris. Thanks for sharing that. You know what? I'm going to just jump in and share mine because I think it's on my heart. I think I could put it to words what I want to say. But I'm going to start out when it was first discussed that we were doing this. I really didn't have any intentions on inviting anybody. And then I just thought of, a really good friend from when I was younger. And when I was younger, we just went to church and went home. We never really talked about it. We were maybe part of Young Life or something. Back then it was Fellowship of Christian Athletes. But we were never intentional about it as a kid. So I didn't even know where he was on his walk. And it was awesome to have him come out there. And then since then, every time we connect, like we always just bring God into our conversations now moving forward, just to kind of put a check on each other. And then of course, the activities out there was attracted everybody. But I think what kept everybody there was everything that Ordinary Men stands for out there. And I will say, a lot of times, you take a break from work and you kind of leave and you go somewhere on a trip and you go to a beach or you go wherever. And it's like by day 4, you're like, just get me home. I want to get back to work and get back to my routine. That's just not the case. I mean, I left, filled with ideas and thoughts that I want to go share with others and, share with my family, and kind of really came back, rejuvenated to really, bring what I got out of there and instill it on the people that I love the most at home.
Awesome.
And, yeah. So, since I'm moderating this, I'm going to let Chad share.
Thank you, Mark.
Feelings.
Oh, the hot springs.
Oh, yes.
I love the hot springs. That was a good
The hot
time.
springs were nice.
Yeah. Yeah. All the activities, the downhill mountain biking. When we signed up for fly fishing, it was an odd number. And so I set out and didn't do it. Probably could have worked it out, but I didn't. So I'm very excited this year to do the fly fishing trip. That's high on my list. But I think, the speaker last time, if any of y'all don't know him, Jeremy Duggins, just the most, I mean, what an incredible man. I mean, he just brought a word that spoke to me just so powerful in the moment that I was at in my life. And it was just incredible. I mean, almost like he came out there just to speak to me. I know probably everybody felt that way, but that's how I truly felt. But the other part of it is just being in the mountains. And there is something about those mountains and how big they are and where the setting of the ranch is. And it just makes you feel looking around like, wow, we have a huge, powerful God. And I am so little nothing. Like, just still a speck here in this mountain that is just, what in the world? It just blows you away. And so it really does help just set the heart and set the mind. So, yeah, those are my highlights of the trip.
Yeah. Wow. That's nice. I know we're going to have Jeremy here coming back and reconnecting with us. I think he's just working on some final details for the trip, actually. So he is busy, but go ahead. Who didn't get a chance to share yet?
Yeah, I'll add something there, Mark. Thank you. I thought it was neat, to meet guys from around the country, who have a tie to Ordinary Men and have kind of been through that. But just to hear different stories, meet new people, just connect. I remember I connected with a guy out there named Eric Alexander, who is a fascinating guy. If you remember, he went on the bike ride with us on Monday, and he summited Everest. I mean, his story was just incredible. So the opportunity to just hear other people's experience firsthand, I thought was super neat, really neat.
Yeah, I'm sorry. This just came to me as well. It was I kind of felt like this. I would turn to one, and there was somebody there just with a lot of wisdom, and I would be able to receive all this wisdom. And then I would turn around where I felt like I could give a lot of wisdom to somebody, and because there were some different generational people there as well. So it was really nice to be able to give and receive like in a very short period of time, but yet at the same level.
Yeah. And I would say, if I can continue to steal the mic, Jeremy said something. So for guys who are considering going out, right, thinking about it, like I think it's in late June this year, and you're not sure if you want to go, you're weighing the cost, the time, just trying to decide, should I put this in my calendar? Jeremy said something, and I only know this because I remember taking notes. He said, I move on 60% clarity. And I remember writing that down thinking, that is good. So often we wait for 99% of the stars align to do something. So I challenge anyone listening, if something's nudging you to go, you'll figure it out. So just come on, it'll be good. And you can contact me. I have access to Frontier Airlines. I'm a Diamond Elite member, and that comes with a lot of perks.
It's a Diamond Club.
You just have to fly with Sean.
That is true. So that could get complicated, but no, it's a good time.
Yeah, last year we had Eric Tosh come out. Not to call him out, but I just did. So that was a guy that was on the fence, and if you asked Eric, I'm 99.9% sure he would say he was very happy that he went. I know this year it's just such a hard sell, right? For us, it makes so much sense the way as close as our group is, and again, we do this for fun anyway. But I just would encourage anyone even close to thinking about it, and especially those of you that I've invited, say yes, because it's worth it.
How many guys would you say you're inviting?
I probably sent a group text out to 8 people. The response was less than exciting. That's it's tough. It's that's why this is cool. We should sit around and just talk about it and tell our stories, because it's the ultimate guy trip.
It really is.
But you're working, you get a text, hey, you want to go to Vail in the summer? Probably not, just us and a bunch of guys that you don't know. It's a hard sell until you really understand what it is. So I see the importance in us just even putting the word out there, but not so far, not a ton of traction.
And what was nice is, it's not like we're going out there to sit in breakout sessions around a coffee table all afternoon, right? It's not that sort of retreat, right? So you get filled up in the morning, you go out and just play all day, activities. So it's not like church retreat with your binder and notebook whatsoever.
No seminars.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we were in our underwear in some hot springs at one point.
It was the highlight.
After fly fishing with a guy from where's Sean Hewer from? Fredericksburg.
Caroline County.
Yeah, what you don't know is that Chad and I had been there, and Billy Barber was with us. We were there for 3 hours before you, just keeping things warm, testing out all the crystal springs.
So
glorious.
I just went back to those hot springs at Christmas, and they have now opened up a 21 and older section. Yeah, and they have a cold plunge.
Racist.
Yeah, no, it's still. All clothes apply. Yeah, fully clothed, but it's a it kind of gets you away from the kids a little bit. Less people. You got to pay an extra like $8 to get in, but they have a cold plunge, which I think we would all enjoy. Cold plunge, hot plunge.
Chad, I'm picturing like that island from Couples Retreat when they're looking across and they see all the lights. That's the adult experience.
I'm actually surprised nobody talked about the summit of Strawberry Mountain, Strawberry Hill. What was that?
That was an off-book event.
That was an off-book.
Right.
That was not.
Right.
Yeah.
But that could be on book. That could
you
have been an event.
Or you
know what? You're 100% right.
Yeah.
Travis, what was the what was the percent slope on that hill?
Oh, easily. I would say 15%.
That's what I was thinking.
That was a steep climb.
It was by far the hardest hill climb. And just so everybody knows, we're talking about being on road bicycles. And it was the hardest climb of my life. And I have done the triple bypass 1.3 times.
I really knew that God was with us on that trip, because I knew for sure there's no way that Chris was going to make it up. And
I was really worried for him too.
And then
Didn't he see a bear or something?
Scat. He saw a bear scat.
There's Scott.
Oh.
All alone.
But,
He chased him up the hill.
You were really scared
Chris-
of it, though.
Chris did summit it.
He did.
He did.
I did. Against all odds. I was told several times, go get a bus. Go down and get the bus. You're never going to make it. I said, I'm going to make it.
Sean, were you going to say, should we book our accommodation while we're all together?
Yeah, maybe. And I'll say you don't need a group. You don't need to feel like you need 7 of your closest friends to go out there. Go out by yourself and watch what God does. I mean, it'll be incredible.
And we forgot to talk about was the food, the dinners.
Oh my gosh.
The breakfasts, the
Breakfast
lunch.
food, it was incredible.
Yes, for free. We didn't.
Yeah, I'm a little sad we're not going to glamp this year.
Yes.
I loved the glamping.
Yes.
The glamping was
Tell us what that was, Chad. Explain.
well, literally when we left dinner at night, we had a 25-minute hike up a small mountain up to this plateau, and there was probably 8 or 10 tents that had a hardwood floor and then a twin size bed. So Sean and I shared a tent, 2 beds. I think Mark and his buddy might have, and Chris paid a little extra and got a king size bed for himself. Right, Chris?
It's his birthday.
I was the only one that didn't have a partner.
Yeah, and so that was fun. Little outdoor shower. Just got to throw your towel over your shoulder and walk on through the wilderness.
Well, Chad, don't forget, whoever puts all the accommodations on their credit card gets all of the amenities that come along with whatever gets charged to the mountainside resort too. So, I mean, drinks.
Is that what happened to you?
No, that's what happened to Chris.
Thank you, Chris. And so I'd like to speak to the wives of the men, and just know that your husband is going out to have a wild and exciting time. And please support him and allow him and encourage him to go, because he will come back a stronger Christian husband, a stronger Christian father, and just an overall stronger Christian man that will lead your family. And I would just highly encourage you as a wife to push your husband to go.
That's
Well said, Chad.
That's all we need. It took us 30 minutes to get that out, but we got the one takeaway.